Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe from multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines and many other sectors.
In today's rapidly evolving business environment, when risk is omnipresent, managing risks is no longer just about ticking a few boxes. Businesses need to maintain a panoramic view of risks to stay ahead of the curve. Join us to explore how organizations can rethink risk to unlock new possibilities and become fit for future. At PwC presents De-Risking the Future in collaboration with Business Today.
Hello, Namaskar. You're watching BTTV. This is Market Today. I'm Tanya Nejan, with me Shwel Bhatnagar, our markets editor. Well, it's the last trading session of 2023, and what a stellar year it has been for the Indian markets. But where is the market headed going forward, and which are the sectors and stocks to watch out for? We'll discuss this and much more. But first, let's do one thing. Let's take a quick market check. Well, if we see the current levels, Nifty is actually trading. Nifty is actually hovering around that 21,700 odd mark. 76 points downtick there. I think everyone is now in the holiday mode, and that's why not much happening on the Lal Street. Nifty Bank is, however, down 340 odd points as we speak. 48,161. So solid profit booking happening there on this particular index. And if you look at some of the gainers from today's trading session, it's the Tata day today. You know, clearly Tata stocks taking it away, and how we have Tata Motors, the top gainer for you, one of the wealth creators of 2023. The stock has it's actually one and the single stock from the Nifty pack which has given double-digit return in 2023. So it's up around 100%. In 2023 alone. And we have Tata Consumers as well. So 1 lakh crore market cap mark today done and dusted for this counter as well. We have Tata Steel, one of the top gainers for you from today's trading session. 139 is the level on this counter. Then we have some of the Adani stocks participating today, Adani Enterprises and Adani Ports. On the other hand, we have some OMCs. Now, OMCs are not participating in today's rally, and they are in the red amid reports of cut in diesel and petrol prices ahead of the election. So let's see how the action pans out here. But coming quickly to you now, Shell, for the quick market check from you. Not much happening on the Lal Street today, perhaps because everyone is busy, preparing for a grand party.
Yes, Tanya, and what a party it has been on any asset class that you look at, equities, commodities, precious metals, bonds. Across the board, we've seen fantastic money being made. Let's just delve a bit deeper into what the markets are doing. The Nifty is almost flat today, 0.35% lower. At day's low at the moment, somewhere in the vicinity of 21,705. It's very recently hit an intraday low. It's actually tested the morning low, and from there, let's see what the next 1 hour does. But sideways to flat range today. The high was 21,940. The low was 21,840. So a 100-point daira for the Bank Nifty. Nothing much happening there, and this is what the story of the Nifty is. Let's look at the pullers and draggers, and then get a sense of what our guest has in mind as far as stocks are concerned. Like I mentioned, in terms of stocks that are pulling the Nifty down, are Infosys, about 1.35% lower. It's pulled the Nifty down by 19 points. ICICI Bank is a percent lower. It's contributed a negative 18 points to the Nifty. Reliance a negative 15 points to the Nifty. SBI and Kotak Bank. So banks are pulling it lower. The Nifty Bank itself is 300 points lower at 48,191. Tanya, this is an indication of what is headed. We have the January's FNO expiry also starting today, and for those who had made supernormal money in December as well as November, a total of about 13.5% on the Nifty, much higher on the Bank Nifty, are now sensibly booking profit. So maybe this is the trend that we are likely to see as far as markets are concerned in the immediate first week of January. Critically, most Januaries are slightly weaker. Let's see how it goes. But Sony joins us from Mumbai, and let's see what her view is. Sony Patnaik, AVP Derivatives Research at JM Financial. A very warm welcome to you, Sony. Any charts that look outstandingly good to you for today?
Good afternoon, Tanya and Shailendra. Thank you so much for having me on the show. So I'll have two picks from the auto space because auto has seen very strong rollovers from December to January series and could be the turnaround story for this series. So the first pick would be from Sambardhan Motherson. So it is seeing a good breakout. In fact, there's a hurdle of 103. So the moment it crosses 103, the breakout will get confirmed. So it's a good buy even from current levels with a stop loss of 97.5 and targets of 108 to 110. The second pick again would be from the auto space, which is Ashok Leyland. So Ashok Leyland, after a long time, it is trying to sustain above 180 levels. In fact, there's a lot of put writing also trying to take place at 180, 178 strike prices, which is indicating that it will be a good support in near term. So keeping a stop loss of 178, you can buy Ashok Leyland for targets of 190, 192.
Okay. Tanya, we'll just dig a little deeper into the markets. A lot of data to be shared with our viewers. Let's look at stocks in terms of very, very heavy volume in terms of how trades are going. I just wanted to point out that given the fact that it's the last trading session, we have not only the year-end celebrations ahead. Volume is pretty okay. Tata Motors, as we had pointed out, auto will be the day to look at, is up 3.65% and 2,866 crores worth of shares have been traded. Remember, there was a front page news that the government of India wants 800 diesel buses to be replaced by electric vehicles, and that's the reason why the entire EV space is up, led by Tata Motors. You have a strong move coming in on JBM Auto. You have Electra Green Tech moving fairly sharply. So these are the stocks to look at as far as the EV thrust is concerned. The second most active counter is, hold your breath, Idea Cellular, up almost 20%. Okay, it's up 20%, 15.85, and 1,900 crores worth of shares have been traded. Then you have the usual suspects, HDFC Bank. In next is IEX and IRFC. So these are unusual names for NSE 500 to host on the last day, and therefore they need a check. Coming to you, Sony, your view on IEX, 4% higher, 168.20, about 1,200 crores worth of transactions happening. What are the charts telling you?
So, Shailendra, IEX has broken above its resistance hurdle of 160, 161. In fact, it is holding that level today. So, the first target that could have come from after breaking that resistance was 170, 172. Suppose it has already tested 172 today. There could be a somewhat of sideways movement, but as long as 161 is holding, it will try to consolidate and then ultimately again break above 172, above which it can actually test 180 levels. And there's also a lot of good long built up positions to happening today on this stock front. So just keep a trail your stop losses to 161, hold for some higher targets of 180.
Okay, absolutely, got that. And what about Motherson, Sony? Because this stock we discussed in the morning trade as well, and the stock is on a roll today from the auto pack, the top gainer for you, 4% uptick there, 101, that's the level. What are the charts telling you for Motherson, Sumi?
Right. So Tanya, I'll just mention that how this is one of my top picks, in fact, for the day. So good rollovers, good long beta positions taking place. It is about to break that resistance of 103. The moment it does that, you'll see a fresh rally taking place towards 108, 110. So anybody who's holding it today, you can trail your stop losses to 97 and half and hold the stock for higher targets of 108, 110. Technical breakout, volumes good enough, plus long beta positions, all are quite bullish parameters looking forward for the stock.
Okay, absolutely. Got that, Sony. And what would be your top pick from the mid cap space today?
So, mid-cap, I think there's some sort of profit booking that we can see as of now. However, I would like to place from mid-cap IT. I think Vsoft is one stock which has seen very strong rollovers, and there's a very good support of 700. In fact, the more we see the dip towards 700, it will be a very favorable risk-reward ratio to enter. So anywhere around 710, if we see the dip, we can enter and keep a stop loss of 700. It will bounce back to 730, 740 range. I think this one stock can definitely be kept on radar, from the mid cap space.
Can you repeat the name of the stock, Sony?
Birla Soft, Bsoft.
Birla Soft. Okay, okay. ठीक है, done, done.
Okay, let's again drill a little deeper. Under this very quiet facade of the trade today, there is a lot of movement happening in individual stocks, especially in the PSU basket. A breakout on National Aluminium. Again, Tanya, would you please repeat your jumla?
Okay, I will, shall for sure. So Sony, we call them actually Chota Packet Bada Dhamaka. It's a term given by me. So, everyone should give me a royalty for this as well. But yes, these stocks have done like so well in 2023 and given multi-bagger returns, Shell.
Okay, so Sony, the cost of using this particular jamla, I'm not going to repeat it because I'll have to pay the cost, is one chocolate eclairs to be given to Tanya whenever this phrase is used. Yes. So whenever I need it in action, I request her to speak it. So on her behalf, Chota Packet Bada Dhamaka, National Aluminium for you, NALCO, as we very sweetly call it in the markets, blowout volume as far as trade is concerned today, as also on a monthly basis. Very, very high volumes and fabulous price action. Positionally, Sony, not today, tomorrow. I'm just asking a medium term view on how this PSU is likely to behave on charts.
So, Shailendra, like you've rightly pointed out, very good volumes on weekly, monthly. There's good breakout. Plus, to add to it, Metal Counter has, seen very good rollovers. Especially this particular stock has seen very, very strong long rollovers from December to Jan. So, I think this will continue for quite some months to come by. And immediately basis, there is a 140 that can be seen on charts. The moment the 140 is crossed, the stock can rally up to 158, 164 levels. I think that can be from 3 to 4 months time horizon. So it's a definitely hold from, hold as a stock. And on the downside, one can trail the stop losses to 120 to 118 as a support. So 118 can be your trail stop loss. Hold the stock for higher targets of 140, and then you can see 158, 162.
Okay, absolutely, got that. So Sony, we have seen a stellar rally coming in from the PSU space, defense, railways, and some of the other PSU counters as well. But is there any stock on your radar from the PSU space that you feel is undervalued at these levels? Maybe सबसे अच्छा और सबसे सस्ता according to you from the PSU space.
So I feel that Gale is one stock which is outperformed from all aspects, be it technicals, be it derivative parameters. It's a very good breakout. It's very, very strong rollovers of 95% plus. So there's a lot of steam momentum left in this stock. It can actually test 175, 180 also in the medium term. So I think this one stock can be looked at, and there's any small intraday dip, or sorry, small short-term dip around 158, 157 can be reinitiated for longs again, keeping a stop loss of 151.
Experts are also bullish, Sony, on this particular counter because of the sharp improvement in the company's ROE and free cash flow, along with strong core earnings, and they have actually maintained good targets for this particular counter. Let's see how the action pans out going forward. But any stocks that are on your radar, Sony, from the metal pack, because this space is also buzzing lately, and we have been discussing this space also. So any stocks that you want to share from this space?
Yes, definitely. I think NMDC will be the top pick. NMDC has seen very, again, based on the rollovers, plus there's very strong put writing base happening at 200 put. So it's a clear breakout on weekly charts as well. 198 is a very strong support. So as long as 198 is holding on a positional basis, the stock can test 220 to 25 level. So it will be a positional call, mostly like for the rest of the Jan series, you can see. And you just wait for the targets of 220, 225, stop loss 198.
Okay, got that. And what are you watching, Shell?
Okay. Tanya, I never fail to repeat myself, and I always feel very happy when I say it's a crisis of plenty. क्या करें, क्या क्या देखें, कहीं पे भी आप उंगली रख लो 4% ऊपर है. आजकल तो वो हाल है. आप शाम
कुछ
को
देर पहले
3
आपने
बज के
ट्वीट किया
25
था
मिनट पे
कि
कुछ
पत्ता
खरीद
नहीं
लीजिए.
हिल रहा है.
हाँ, पत्ता नहीं हिल रहा. अब हम आ गए तो हिलेगा. तो आप कुछ भी खरीद लीजिए. 3:25 पे खरीद लीजिए.
और लेडी लक.
और 9:16 पे, हाँ 9:16, बिल्कुल 9:16 पे वो 4% ऊपर मिलेगा. कुछ भी खरीद लो, इनी मीनी माइनी मो करके, कहीं पे भी आंखों पे पट्टी बांध के, कुछ भी आप कीजिए. इधर घुमा फिरा के एक उंगली रख दीजिए. अगर वो सरकारी कंपनी है तो 5% ऊपर खुलेगी, नॉर्मल चीज है तो 3% ऊपर खुलेगी. ये है बुल मार्केट की प्योर डेफिनेशन. रेल टेल देखिए आप, 18% ऊपर हो गया, सुबह 4% ऊपर खुला था. इतनी तेजी है, मैं आपको क्या बताऊं. आइडिया सेलुलर 20% ऊपर है और सेकंड मोस्ट ट्रेडेड काउंटर है. तो आप देखिए कि ट्रेडर क्या सोच रहा है. ट्रेडर ये सोच रहा है कि भाई वैल्यूएशन की किताब करो बंद और खोलो किताब मोमेंटम की, वो ही पढ़ो.
और मार्केट तो अपनी
तो
धुन में ही
यही
चलती
है और ठीक भी है. क्या हो सकता है. बिल्कुल 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 बिल्कुल. तो ना पत्ता हिल रहा है ना कुछ हिल रहा है, सिर्फ पीएसयू चल रहा है धकाधक. आप देख लीजिए, आपने अभी कौन कौन से स्टॉक डिस्कस करे. गैस अथॉरिटी, विच वाज a pick given by Sony from her side, right? I have checked Nelco, you have checked NMDC, right? So like I said, सिर्फ वही चल रहा है, गजब की तेजी. चलिए, let's look at I talked about Idea Cellular, remember it's an F&O stock, so 30% is allowed in a single day. अभी 20% पे उसने रेस्ट लिया है. It's now started to move up again. 16, yeah, it's 22% higher. आप देख लीजिएगा, जब तक हम ये शो खत्म करेंगे आइडिया सेलुलर में एक डिजिट चेंज होगा, 16 की जगह कुछ और होगा. चलिए, लेट्स सी व्हाट एल्स इज द एक्शन. Sony, to you, I wanted to understand your strategy for January and February. Are we in some kind of a mean reversion that is likely to happen for Nifty and Bank Nifty after a fantastic November and December, or are we going up only?
Shailendra, first I'll just like to cover, when we talk about the entire Jan series, we immediately have to put ourselves of how the rollovers have actually happened. Not surprisingly, the rollovers are actually on the longer side, which is indicating that Nifty and Bank Nifty both, you can still see more upside momentum left. Now, when I dissected the options metrics, it was also indicating, the call writing for Bank Nifty was actually happening at 49,000 as of yesterday's close. and put writing was happening at 48,000, 47,500. So it was indicating that in any case, 47,500 is an immediate strong crucial support for Bank Nifty, and as long as it is holding, there could be a bounce back seen from Bank Nifty. Today's dip is just maybe, like some sort of a small profit booking, but any dip can be seen around 48,000 will get bought into, and keeping that support of 47,500, it can actually restart its rally again towards 49,000. This is what the options and metrics is indicating. So likewise for Nifty also, if we see the maximum call writing for the last 2 weeks has actually been happening at 22,000 call option. It was indicating that there was a space left in Nifty where it could have tested till 21,800, 21,900, and we've seen those levels almost come like yesterday and today also, 21,800 around. There's some sort of small profit booking today, but on weekly basis, weekly closing today, if it is still closing above 21,600, perhaps in the next week we can see, from 21,600 support, Nifty will restart and rebounds again towards 21,800, 21,900. Perhaps both the indices may not rest until they have hit those targets of 49,000 for Bank Nifty and 22,000 for Nifty. Maybe after that only we can see some sort of profit booking, and the remainder of the January series could be consolidation, but that can happen in the second half of the Jan series. So that's how the entire rollover and the option chain is indicating for both the indices.
Okay, that's the view coming in. Unrelenting rally on Idea Cellular, and even if you put a knife to my throat, I won't take a technical check on this one. What else is buzzing? Let me just point out some new gainers on the Nifty. What I'm trying to say is that the mid cap is, or the small cap stocks are the ones that are buzzing really strongly. So we have a record high on CSB Bank, Tanya, 421, 4.29% higher. There's a record high on Exide Industries. Chalet Hotels, 705, 3.8% higher. There was a news item yesterday that hotel chains are thinking of upticking their rack rates again, and that's added a bit of enthusiasm to mid-rung companies. We've discussed GAIL, we've discussed Tata Motors. These are also at record highs. Another interesting one, and aptly so, United Spirits, McDowell, party week ahead, 1114, 1.2% higher. Sony, this is one of those quiet stocks which form a part of old world portfolios. United Spirits, what are the charts telling you? It's broken out after maybe a 10-year wait. What is it saying in terms of the medium term targets? United Spirits for you.
Yeah, so on charts, I've checked daily, weekly, monthly, and it's all giving that breakout above 1120 level. So I think it's heading for a good rally above 1180 to 1200 odd range. We can say in the short term, and then perhaps in the medium term we can see it even testing a slightly higher target of 1250 plus levels. So I think the stock is looking quite strong on technical parameters. On the downside, there is a very strong support of 1050 for medium term. As long as that is holding, it will be a good opportunity to re-enter and keep on reinitiating longs as long as the support is holding, and look for the higher targets of 1250.
Okay, so 1250, Tanya, and that should gladden the hearts of a lot of people. Actually, you know what, Tanya, it's the local guys who have taken over the mind space as far as whiskey drinkers are concerned. So you have, the likes of Oindri, Gyanchand, Amrit, which are now ruling the roost instead of Glenlivet and which one was that? Black Label and Blue Label. So it's like I said, Atmanirbhar Bharat is getting reflected in many formats, and it is the local brands that are getting to be very popular. It started with Rampur. This was by Radico Khaitan, and now it's on to Gyanchand. And would you believe it? Of course, you know. that these are more costlier than Scotch whiskies?
I would rather not comment, Shell. But I think I want to discuss Coal India with Sony, because Sony, we have been discussing this stock lately, and this stock, if you see, this is not expensive in terms of valuation, and it is a commodity stock and will always have that lower valuation. But we are seeing bit of a profit booking in this counter today. So would you buy this dip on Coal India, or you would avoid?
Definitely, Tanya. I think if we look at the technical structure for the stock, anywhere in a dip around 370, 365 range will be even a much better dip to enter, reinitiate the longs, and then again look for targets of 390, 400 levels, because positionally the stock is quite strong on charts even as of now. There's a very strong support that has come out to around 348, 345 band. So I think as long as that is holding, the stock will consolidate sometime, and but then ultimately head towards 400 plus levels positionally.
And what about SBI, Sony? Because it is also among the
Tanya,
top
there is,
losers.
yeah.
Yeah, let's discuss SBI, Shell, then we'll toss it to you.
Right, so SBI, as I can see, the entire after it had broke out above 630, which was its major breakout, and today being the last day of this particular year, the weekly 52 weeks high that it is closing above that particular breakout 630. So as long as 630 is holding for SBI, you can see it'll definitely try to take out levels of 700. It will be a positional target, of course, or maybe in like 2 months or so, but it's a good structure technically, and even derivative parameters, very strong rollovers of
Uh,
90%.
Shell, you were saying something? Okay.
Sony, can you hear me?
Yes, we can
Yes.
hear you. Okay, I think there is some technical glitch, but we'll get him back on the show. Sony, meanwhile, let's discuss some of the other buzzing stocks as well, and let's discuss some of the counters from the small cap space, some of the chota packets, as we say. Let's look at this RBL Bank, Sony. If you could quickly give us a technical check on this one. 277.5, that's the level there. 3% uptick there in today's trading session. What do the technical charts suggest for RBL Bank?
Yeah, RBL Bank has, recent times it has moved, and we've seen some sort of small profit booking yesterday's trade, but then it is still holding above a very strong support of 260. So ideally, as long as 260 is defended, it'll try to take out its higher levels of 300. In fact, it's a good level to re-enter. Keep a stop loss of 260 for targets of 300. The moment it's taken out 300, you will see it again heading towards 315, 318. So that's how in tranches you can see RBL Bank heading towards, and as long as 260 is defended, keep that as your stop loss. You can keep holding, trail your stop losses, keep partially booking your profits, and ultimately have the targets for 315.
Okay, that's the stock that's being discussed between Tanya and Sony. I'd just like to make a point, Tanya. Unless a stock has broken its all-time high, and we are just talking about the PSU basket here, all the good ones will be, purchased on dips. Look at NTPC. It broke out after a 15 year pattern at 180, 190, 220 rupees levels, and beyond that it's now close to 315, 316 at the moment. Similarly, you'll see it happening in Coal India. The all-time high is 440. So any dip before 40, the markets will gladly purchase, and beyond 440, it will rocket. Why that happens? Those are, of course, technical issues that stocks often react to, but they are often backed by fundamentals which remain hidden for a while, but then start reflecting. Some other stocks that I'd like to mark as far as trades are concerned are the following. Let's look at the top mid-cap gainers in the F&O space. We are seeing a very strong move coming in on all auto stocks, all tire stocks. Look at JK Tire, it's at a record high, moved above the 400 mark for the first time. Fairly decent volumes, 405 was the high, 399 as of now. Apollo Tires is doing pretty well, 453.80, strong move coming in here. And the top stock in this sector, of course, in terms of price and in terms of the sheer weight it commands in the market, is MRF. It's the top auto stock gainer as well, up 3%. Hold your breath, 1,25,605. Again, we are not going to take a technical view on this one. There is hardly any liquidity here. But strong shows coming in PNB, 3.1% higher, 95.65. Sony, would you have a view? This is also the top performer for today and also the top banking stock for 2023.
Definitely, I think PNB is it has performed quite well, but then there is a small hurdle around 100 levels where the call writers have positioned themselves and they've not exited that range as of now. So maybe there could be some profit booking when it reaches 100, from the 100 odd level. From there, if there's some dip that we can see towards 95, 93 range, then it can be bought into again, and it's a stock that you can enter only on dip. Good support of 90. As long as 90 is held, I think the all dips towards that level can be bought into. It'll again retest 100, so there could be some distance in crossing 100 as of now.
Okay, by the way, I think we will cross record high today as well. It's 27.43 right now. And we have recovered a lot from the low that we hit today, 21,676. That's the low that we hit, Shell. And Sony, I would like to discuss some of the sugar companies with you as well. But let's do one thing. Let's take a quick break at this point in time. We'll come back and discuss lots more. So stay tuned.
Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe from multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines and many other sectors.
In today's rapidly evolving business environment, when risk is omnipresent, managing risks is no longer just about ticking a few boxes. Businesses need to maintain a panoramic view of risks to stay ahead of the curve. Join us to explore how organizations can rethink risk to unlock new possibilities and become fit for future. At PwC presents De-Risking the Future in collaboration with Business Today.
Welcome back, everyone. And Sony, quickly coming to you for the sugar companies, because aaj काफ़ी मिठास है markets में. And this is on the back of the news that the union government is considering a 50% duty on export of molasses in efforts to augment supplies for meeting India's target for cleaner and more efficient ethanol blended petrol. And this is of course, according to some reports. But coming to you for a quick technical check on some of these sugar counters, I mean, any stocks that are on your radar from this space?
I think so. Balrampur Chini can be, put into the radar. 400 very strong support. As of now, it is trying to build that level where a lot of put writing is also happening. So any point, as long as 400 is getting defended, I think it will try to test its level of 435. So the moment 435 is crossed, it will try to retest those previous high levels of 460, 468 levels. So I think that's how it will happen in tranches. But as of now, with 400 stop loss, one can look into Balrampur Chini for 430, 435 target.
Okay, 305, ladies and gentlemen. We are 25 minutes away from what will be a fantastic close not only for December but also for 2023. And the index itself is 50 points away from an all-time high and an all-time close. Let's see how the next 25 minutes pan out. But there is strength in the market because since almost 2 p.m. The index has recovered from a low of 21,675 to 21,755. अब देखते हैं अगले 25 मिनट में क्या होता है. Strong momentum is seen in nearly good mid caps across the board. We have seen an uptick happening in most PSU railway companies, and it's a fairly sharp uptick on stocks such as Ultratech Cement, IndusInd Bank, Bank of Baroda. Sony, in the morning we got to hear that post markets close, one particular insurance company had got RBI's permission to raise its stakes in 3 banks, Federal, IndusInd Bank as well as Equitas Small Finance Bank, to 9.95%. Now when that happens we don't know, but your view on IndusInd and Federal Bank, one at a record high, one at a 4-year high.
Right. So in this in bank, it's good, although the closing for today will be very crucial. If it's able to close above 1610, then it can confirm that it's ready to go ahead and see higher levels of 1640, 1660 in the next week or so. So I think in this in bank, the closing remains quite imperative for today. Either way, on immediate basis also, if it's not able to close above that level, so it can again retest its lower supports of 1580, 1570 level. So I think from that again, maybe it can bounce back. But then that's how the structure is good. It is good for positional. Either it has to close above its resistance today, or you could see the dip can be bought into. I think that's how in this bank is definitely looking on charts. Speaking of Federal Bank, on the other hand, it is consolidating and it is not yet ready to give that breakout above 160. I think 160 is a very strong resistance. The moment it's able to cross above 160, you can see it heading towards 168, 172 levels. So I think that's very important for Federal Bank to take out 160. On the lower side, 151 is a very strong support. So I think, it's important just to wait and watch for this particular stock until unless it's taken out the 160 resistance.
Fair point. Tanya, what is on your radar?
Shell, I think we should discuss Sona Comps as well, because remember we discussed this stock in today's market, morning market today show, and we discussed this yesterday as well. The stock is on a roll from the past few trading sessions. Sony 2% uptick there as we speak, 644.9, that's the level on this counter. Will the momentum sustain going forward?
Definitely, Tanya. I can see, it's got good volumes today. I think there's a lot of resistance breakout also above 620. So current level 620 is a good support. We can trail stop loss to 620. We can see the stock definitely heading towards 690, 695 levels in the next week or so. So the stock has more momentum left to test those higher levels of 690, 695 range.
Okay, and Sony, if we talk about Tata Motors, what would be your advice for the investors who have missed the bus and they are clearly, feeling that FOMO today?
Yeah, right. So I think Tata Motors, I've been recommending for quite some time, last 2 weeks or so, and it was the target of 800 coming into the picture, which it has hit today in one single go. So I think 800 becomes a resistance as of now because there's a lot of call writing still happening. It is advisable for Tata Motors for any dip to be looked into. Like if you see around 760 or so, then only one can re-enter and then again look for targets of 800. So as long as 800 is not crossing, the resistance is not going to be that easy to cross right now. So it is better to wait for a dip for anybody who's missed the bus, and then you can, enjoy those gains again once it's driving towards 800 levels.
What's the entry level that you mentioned, Sony, on Tata Motors?
760.
760, okay. Sure. So that was Tata Motors for you. And talking about some of the other buzzing stocks, Sony, because we are actually focusing on these stocks today. Granules. This stock is also up 2% as we speak. 403. That's the level there. What are the charts telling you?
So granules once before also it failed to sustain above a resistance of 410. So I think it was from 410 that some profit booking was seen. So 410 is quite important to be taken out. Although with the data of long built-up positions adding up, it looks like it's poised to take that resistance out for 410. Above 410, it can test 425, 430 levels. So I think it's a good buy from current levels, keeping a very small stop loss of 393, and you can buy and the once it's broken out of 410 resistance, it can head towards 425.
What are you watching, Shell?
Tanya, now the action is on Trent. Remember, we discussed it at 1800 rupees
Right.
some 6 months ago, and I cannot even believe the strength of the rally. Exactly on somewhere like April, the company had come up with fantastic numbers, and it moved from 1600 to 1800. And will you believe it? Today's number is 3000. Again, I hesitate to take a check, but this one is really good in terms of actual numbers that have come in. And like I said, the market is rewarding performance, and it is overtly rewarding performance where performance is repeated quarter after quarter, and that's a trend for you, especially their internal brand called Zudio. That's doing phenomenally well in terms of same store sales as well as new stores that are opening up. And Trent has a very well-known ladies label called W. So that's how things are as far as Trent is concerned. Record high here, but Apollo Tyres, the chart looks good, and let's see what Sony says. 455, a record high on JK, a record high on MRF, and Sony will tell us what's going to happen on Apollo.
So, Sharon, the Apollo, I think again, Apollo Tyres can head. It's sort of consolidating. It is sideways somewhere between 440 to 480 as a broad range. So 480, last we've seen it testing 480, 85, but then it could not close at higher levels. In fact, it came down to close below 450. So I think that's where the entire game is. As long as it's not able to close above 480, you can see in the short term, you can see it testing 480, but then medium term level for this stock to outperform and take out 500 plus levels, it is important for 480 level to be crossed and then closed above it. From current levels, definitely I think 480 for short-term traders can be a good target, keeping a small stop loss of 440. But then for medium term, I think it'll be important for that level to sustain once.
That's Apollo for you. And what else is sticking? Actually, Tanya, the thing is that at 313, the volume is so slow that stocks are just not moving. They're waiting for this system to sort of shut shop at 330, and people will run away to celebrate the money that they've made in December, the money that they've made in November, the money that they've made in 2023, and party for next 2 days. They're just waiting for another 16 minutes to lapse. Believe me, not one stock is moving. It's just very quiet, range bound trade. आप देखो निफ्टी का आज का हाई था 21,765, लो इज 21,680. दिन भर खट 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 किया और no volume, nothing, all very quiet. Only autos are moving, and maybe telecom. I don't want to mark MTNL. 3370, 6.5% higher. Idea Cellular 22% चल सकता है, तो MTNL की क्या गलती है? So that's the catch-up trade that's happening in the market. What can one do? Sony, what are your plans for the weekend?
I think it'll be just with family, and it's the best unnecessary, not to hassle your body and get exhausted in the long travels to go anywhere. And the best peace, the best celebration can always be as long as it's a quiet dinner with family.
Roads are also jam packed. Actually, Shell, if you look, everyone is going to
Nah.
Shimla, Mussoorie, and these hill stations.
I don't believe what Sony is saying, quiet dinner with family. Unlikely. You come to Delhi.
Oh yes,
Definitely.
absolutely.
Wonderful weather here. Fabulous.
What are your plans, Shell?
हर जगह कोहरा छाया हुआ है. Instead of driving, my plans are hidden. I'm going back to my hometown.
Oh wow,
I'm going
where
to
is
drive. Okay, one more interesting thing, Tanya. Merit. So,
nice.
you are at 1,29,999 on MRF. 1,30,000 is coming in the whiff of 1 second. So, this is something that we should watch on air. Let's show the MRF price, ladies and gentlemen. Quantity is 41 shares, but what can be done? Okay, look at this, 129,802. Let's see what the buy sell difference is. I'm sure this is something that Sony can share very quickly, but let me just see if I can raise MRF on my screen. 1 second, 1 second. This should be कि MRF का buy sell कितना है. Okay, it's a difference of 30-40 rupees. That's not bad at all. No, actually it's a difference of 1,000 rupees. 940, 879. नहीं 40 रुपए का ही है. चलिए, let's see whether it hits 1,30,000 or not. And of course, Nestle 26,605. Tanya, I told you this one will rise till Jan-Feb. A stock split is on the way. So let's see how it starts and where it ends. But like I said, just nothing is moving. Sony, anything you can spot on your software that we are missing?
Yeah, I was about to ask that only.
I think it's the same story even this side. Everything that has already moved, and auto is the only space that I can see it moving. Like you mentioned, even I was watching MRF. It was just synchronicity that you mentioned MRF, and I was also just looking at how the stock is ready to test 1,32,000 also in the coming days. So that's all on my radar as of now. And Nestle is another radar that we can see it coming. Trend also, I was watching, Trend. I think it is, although it has rallied so much, it definitely looks like it can test 3,100 also in the coming days.
Yes.
So I think these are some of the stocks that can be definitely still looked into, where the strength is there, and any dip you see, it just gets bought into so easily for continuous higher targets.
Okay. Tanya, can you tell us what the market prefers these days? अब 3,000 रुपए का उनको स्टॉक क्या टेक्निकल करके बताएंगे? आपका जो जुमला है वो बताइए.
मेरा जुमला? Are you talking about the छोटा पैकेज शेयर?
Absolutely, छोटा पैकेट बड़ा धमाका. 3,000 का स्टॉक नहीं चाहिए, 30 रुपए का स्टॉक चाहिए. That's how things are working. 30 रुपए का चाहे डिलीवरी लेके 25 हो जाए, उसमें कोई डर नहीं.
Because Sony, if you see, मतलब Shell, mid cap and small cap, mid cap index is up over 40%, I guess. Small cap is up over 60%. I mean, look at the stellar run.
Yeah. Absolutely, Tanya. You've smelt where the battle is, and that's where the most interesting things are happening. Now, Tata Consumer is rising in front of me, 1,088, then 1,092.80. Good volume, good action. Okay, Sony, let's do a quality check on Tata Consumer. This is one of those well-known brands, and high society people like Tanya need to be seen with Starbucks kind of places, not chayos like me. So please tell us where Tata Consumer is going.
I think Tata Consumer can see some profit booking actually from current level. 1,100 is a resistance. So you can see some profit booking, but it's not going to be a very severe profit booking. breaking somewhere in the and from there again it will
Okay, fine.
bounce back
And
to 1100.
yeah, so it's 1,30,100 for MRF, ladies and gentlemen. It's a digit change that has happened. I have a very interesting story on MRF. I'll tell you some other time, Tanya. But for the moment, let's rejoice a record high on MRF as well. 6-digit ka stock. I think this was India's first 6-digit stock in most recent memory. I remember Cipla at about 35,000 somewhere in 1994, but that was a different era and a different time. So 1 lakh 30, it's rising 1,30,400 now. Every deal is at a higher price. Chalo, that's very interesting. Otherwise, it's a very quiet market. We still have 9 minutes to spend with Sony, and she is also thinking कि शाम की पार्टी में क्या होगा. But such is the strength. Okay, let me show you some good data. This is something I'm sure a lot of people will really appreciate. Let's look at a 1-year performance of all stocks, and I'll keep on telling you the top performer. Okay, we'll start with a company called RECL, 261% higher in 2023. The price is 410. Okay, Colgate Palmolive 61% higher in the past 12 months. The price is 25.20. Needless to say, this is a record. In the chemical space, the top performing stock has been Coromandel International, 1238. That's up 48%. Cement, the big boy, Ultratech Cement, India's largest installed capacity of about 150 million tons. 10,421 in 5 digits now. The counter gained about 50%. BHEL in capital goods, 145% higher at about 192. Banking, PNB, 73% higher. Chota packet, bada dhamaka, 95 rupees. Tata Motors, the top performing Nifty stock, ladies and gentlemen, in the auto space, and this is up 95%. Hold your breath. That's how it is. Let's look at more outperformers here. Technology, L&T, Mindtree, 43% higher. Bharti Airtel, 27% higher. NTPC, 90% higher. These are the ones that I can think of. Coal India, 71% higher. ONGC, 44% higher. छप्पर फाड़ के returns आए हैं in the year of 2023. Sony.
Sony, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you now.
No, Shell was actually talking about the returns that we have made in 2023 so far. You think, Sony, we would be able to, make these kind of returns in 2024 as well?
I think, just speaking from a very derivative point of view, that I can impart my knowledge from that perspective, as long as the indices do keep on outperforming and the bulls are quite intact. So individual stocks have shown such, crazy breakouts and the gains that we've seen, especially in the last 2 months. They're still to continue. They are there to remain for quite some time, as long as no certain bad news comes in, and the FIs inflows keep on coming throughout. So the FIs are quite longs in Indian markets. They are standing the position with 70% longs in FIs, as in FNO position especially. So these stocks individually, they are showing such strength, and at the start of this show, we were mentioning, like you also mentioned, how these stocks are just moving across 3-4% in one single day. Even FNO stocks are able to move 4-5% in a single day. I think that's the momentum is yet to continue, at least in the next 3 months that we can see. The indices will also continue to remain bullish. So the entire tone is quite bullish. There is no exhaustion, in a medium term that I can see as of now. So every dip that we can see, be it stocks, sector specific, indices perspective, it just gets turned into longs from there on.
Absolutely, Sony, got that. And I just want to mark one point here, Sony, that though these defense names, we have seen a lot of multi-baggers coming in from this space, but experts are still bullish on some selective stocks from this space as we are heading into 2024 as well. And they feel that the momentum is likely to continue. What would be your, let's say, top 3 bets from the defense space for 2023?
Yeah, so the first would be BEL, Bharat Electronics. That's a
Okay.
very good structure that I can see on charts as on derivatives point of view, on rollovers perspective also quite longs, and it is definitely heading for the higher levels of 200 that we can see coming forward. It has formed itself a very strong base of 170. As long as that is holding, it will definitely try to head towards 200. So that remains the first, pick from that particular space. And second would be Hindustan Aeronautics. Although the stock is, all in 4 digits, it's risen so much. But then it has medium term, if I see, it has formed a very strong, good base of 2600. So 2600, it holds. You see any dip, you can start accumulating as long as 2600 is holding, and the higher targets that we can see, the higher levels of coming is around 3200 to 3300 in medium term. So I think these would be the top 2 bets from this defense space.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, what has been a very, very exciting December and a fabulous 2023. Let's draw this to a close and look forward to January 1st on Monday. The Nifty 21,731, it started 40 points lower in the market today morning, and it's ending somewhere in that vicinity. Nothing much happened there. But let's look at individual performances. Today was a standout day for Tata Motors, driven more by news in the market about a replacement that the government is planning for 800,000 diesel buses with electric vehicles. Tata Motors record high, triple Nelson 777.55, 3% higher. This is a record close for Tata Motors. What else rose in the market? Hindustan Unilever 1% higher, 2664 on the Nifty. Bajaj Finance 1% higher. HDFC Bank a third of a percent higher. What did Reliance do here? Reliance at the moment is shutting shop somewhere like 2587, 0.7% lower, and a 1.2% cut on Infosys. Okay, let's look at the record highs on the Nifty today, and that will give you an idea what the market is thinking for next year. Okay, all-time highs as far as the Nifty is concerned, ladies and gentlemen. It's a Tata day. Tata Consumer 1085, 4% higher. We've discussed Tata Motors 3.2% higher. Autos are unrelenting in their rally. Bajaj Auto 6830, Nestle 26,620, Britannia, Ultratech Cement, Sun Pharma, M&M, and Hero Motors. So we have 4 auto stocks: M&M, Hero Motors, Bajaj Auto, and Tata Motors at record high levels. This is what is reflected on Monday when the volumes for December will come in. Okay, what are the volume buzzers within Nifty? Tata Motors 4.3x volume, Tata Consumer 2.3x volume, Britannia 1.29% volume, and Tata Steel 1.2x volume. NSE 500 top gainers today. My bet is Idea Cellular 21% higher, 1605. Electric bus maker Olectra Green 1344, 8% higher. Power sector company Kalpataru Power 703, 7% higher. This is a record high. Then you have the likes of Spark, GMR Infra, you have BBTC, KRBL. Okay, volume buzzers on NSE 500. KPIL, surprising, 30 times volume, 61 lakh shares. This is really, really interesting. We'll again watch it on Monday. Olectra Green 8x volumes, the stock up 8%. We have Chalet Hotels 5.5%, 5.5x volume, the counter at record high 700, 2.3% higher. Lots of green ticks happening in the broader markets. Okay, within the PSU pack, again chota packet bada dhamaka. What are the top gainers? Okay, MTNL, surprise, surprise, 6.3% higher, 3365. Ireda 5% higher, 102.60. MSTC 673, 4.6% higher. GAIL 162, 23.2% higher. The list goes on. National Aluminium, IRFC, RVNL, IRCTC. Anything that you are watching, Tanya, that I might have missed?
No, I think, Shell, you mentioned each and everything, and I think it was the Tata day today. Tata Consumer, Tata Motors among the top gainers for you. Tata Steel as well. And let's see how the action pans out going forward. But Indian market was clearly an outperformer compared to, the most global peers in this calendar year 2023. More in, of course, mid and small cap space. And interestingly, this was amidst geopolitical tensions, rise in key policy rates across the globe, and volatile commodity prices. And I hope this bull run continues in 2024 as well. But Soni, over to you for one piece of advice for all the viewers who are watching you right now for 2024, of course.
Kya baat?
Yes, thank you so much for this, platform and opportunity, of course, to speak out. I think what I truly, honestly believe that everything that we do in stock markets always must come with a discipline, whether it be booking your losses, booking your targets. It always has to be with a strict discipline, and there should not be any regrets. Once you've booked out and the stock runs again after that, there should not be any regrets over it. So just maintain your discipline and be quite religious in what the data speaks, even if it goes wrong for a day. Just be true to what you can see, and absolutely, I think that's the best motto we can make out from this particular market.
And Shell and Soni, I have also learned so much in 2023. If you have invested in quality stocks, the trick is that not to panic and stay invested whenever there is a correction. And also, sensible people do not sell, as Shell said, I think last week. So yes, on that wonderful note, Shell, over to you for just one piece of advice for all the viewers, and then we'll wrap up.
Okay, Tanya, I think the bull market is here to stay for 2024. We just might see some corrections in the month of Jan and Feb, but that's a mean reversion. Keeping that in mind, one must remain invested in quality stocks. Never exit a quality stock fully. Leave a tail in the portfolio, and within a span of 5 years, the tail will become a full dog. I have seen that happening over the last 20-25 years in my own portfolio. Buy quality, hold tight, sit tight, and create wealth not only for yourself but for generations coming ahead. We are in a phenomenal bull rally in the Indian equity markets. Over the next 2-3 years, we will make more money than we have made in the past 10. You need to participate with quality. If nothing works for you, just buy 3 mutual funds, 1 blue chip and flexi cap, 1 mid cap and 1 large cap mutual fund. That's it. Just invest every month. Let the fund manager do all the investing. With that, Tanya, a very big thank you to all our viewers who've been joining us regularly. A very big thank you to the PCR team, to everybody at Market Today and Business Today Television for this wonderful show. And now the party starts, which is going to be spread for the next 2.5 days. Tanya.
Absolutely. Now is the time to party, Shell, and I'm all set, like you and Soni, and like our viewers as well. But on that lovely note, it's now time for us to wrap up this last trading session and the Market Today show of 2023 for you. Don't forget to live, love, and laugh as we head into this new year 2024, and I really hope that the bull run continues in 2024 as well. But on that note, let's wrap up this edition of Market Today, but lots more coming up for you only on BT TV. Don't go anywhere, stay tuned, and many thanks for watching.
Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe from multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines, and many other sectors.
In today's rapidly evolving business environment, when risk is omnipresent, Managing risks is no longer just about ticking a few boxes. Businesses need to maintain a panoramic view of risks to stay ahead of the curve. Join us to explore how organizations can rethink risk to unlock new possibilities and become fit for future. At PwC presents De-Risking the Future in collaboration with Business Today.